Hi guys, welcome back to Totally Magic. Before we start, just want to make sure that you're all keeping safe during these very difficult and unusual times that we find ourselves in, and the fact that we've got to stay on lockdown and self-isolate. The trick we got for you today is one that you can all perform. So if it's your first time watching this video, then you don't need to be a professional magician. You don't even need to be a hobbyist. If you just got an interest in magic, you can perform this trick straight away. Now, although we can't interact with people live, we can do it virtually via all these apps out there. You can use Zoom, you can use WhatsApp, Skype, Microsoft Teams, or even Google Meets. Any of these FaceTime applications will work. You're going to get someone to choose a card and you will know exactly which card they choose virtually. It's that simple. Now, I am going to do a presentation of what the effect looks like and the trick itself. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Hope you appreciate it and puts a smile on your face. And then I'll explain how the trick works afterwards, so stick around for that. Don't forget, if it is your first time here at Totally Magic, we upload videos a couple of times a week. If you want to join this small community, then please hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way you're reminded every time we do upload a new video. We'd also appreciate it, because we are just a small channel, a thumbs up would be great, a like, a share, any of those. Please consider doing those for us as well. So back to the magic, enjoy. Now we're all here, let's introduce everyone. We have Blondie.
Hi.
And we have Jack the lad.
Hi.
And we have Levi. Yeah, Levi's a cat. He's not going to be joining in. But the two of you are going to help me with a virtual magic trick using a deck of cards. Now, you guys don't have a deck of cards, but you're going to use mine virtually. You see, what I want you both to do is, out of these 52 cards, I want you just to think of your lucky playing card. But don't tell me. Just write it down. You both got one. Now, what I want you to do is to think of your card as a number. All playing cards are values, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even the picture cards, Jack, Queen and King, are 11, 12 and 13. What I'd like you both to do is to multiply the value of your lucky playing card by 10. Now, don't worry if you're no good at maths, because all you have to do is to put a naught on the end. Now what I want you to do, I'm Blondie, what I'm going to ask you to do is to give me a lucky number of yours between 1 and 10.
7.
Okay, what I'd like you to do is to add that lucky number onto the value you've currently got. And Jack, if you'd like to do the same, what's your lucky number, 1 to 10?
3.
Okay, what I'd like you to do is to add that value to the number that you've currently got. And finally, what I'd like you both to do is to add another digit to your total. If the card that you're thinking of is a club, then add 1. If it's a heart, add 2. If it's a spade, add 3. And if it's a diamond, add 4. You've now both arrived at a number that I couldn't possibly know. I certainly couldn't have known what your lucky number was. I couldn't have known which card that you would think of out of all of these cards. But I'd like you just to tell me the number that you've now got. So, Blondie.
141.
And Jack?
54.
Okay, Blondie. My magical mind is working virtually. You see, I believe that the card that you randomly selected as your lucky card is the King of Diamonds. And Jack, your lucky card is the 5 of clubs.
You're right. 5 of clubs.
And I hope you both enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed that as well. Hope you enjoyed that performance. The method to how this trick works is very simple. It's a self-worker, so there's nothing complicated about it. So this is how the trick works, and what I do like about this trick is you can perform it multiple times and no one will be any the wiser as to how it's done. So how is it done? Well, first of all, if you just follow exactly what I did on the performance, you just get them to add up a couple of numbers and you can tell them what the card is they chose. So this is the deal. First of all, they choose any card. Now let's use the example that I had in the performance, which was the King of Diamonds. So somebody chose the King of Diamonds. All you need them to do is to multiply by 10. Now for some people that might kind of put them off, saying, well, that's a lot. Just remind them that to multiply any number by 10, you just add a 0 to the end. Now because they chose the King of Diamonds, that has a value of 13. So by adding a 0 to the end, that gives them 130. We then asked them to pick a lucky number. Now I asked them to pick a lucky number between 1 and 10, and they can have any number. However, you can get them to choose any lucky number. It could be 57, 120, it doesn't really matter. The reason I keep it within 10 is because it makes my life easier. For those regular viewers, you'll know that when it comes to maths in my head, I'm absolutely useless. So if I keep it to a single digit number, ask them to pick a lucky number between 1 and 10, it makes it easier for me. But just bear in mind, they can actually have any number. Now, once they chose that, now on the video, she chose a 7 as the lucky number. So at the moment, she's got 130 in her head. She then adds the 7, which gives them 137, and then you ask them to add a final number, either 1, 2, 3 or 4, depending on what the suit is. If it's a club, it's a 1, if it's a heart, it's a 2, if it's a spade, it's a 3, and if it's a diamond, it's a 4. So she would have added 4 onto her number because she had the King of Diamonds. Now that then brought the total to 141, and that's the number they give you. So they give you that random number, 141. What you do, as soon as you get the number from them, you deduct their lucky number. That's all you do. You subtract whatever number they chose. So in this case it was 7. So if we deduct the 7, what we end up with in our head is 134. Now if I put that on the screen, 134, all you're interested in is the last digit. It's either going to be a 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now because I see it's a 4, that tells me the suit, which tells me that she chose a diamond. And in the first part, tells me the value of the card, and here you can see it's a 13. And that gives us the King of Diamonds. It's that simple. Just very briefly, let's do it on the second person that had the 5 of clubs chosen. Now when they chose the 5 of clubs, you ask them to multiply by 10, which gave them 50, because the value of their card was 5. So adding a 0 on the end by multiplying by 10 is 50. They then chose the number 3 as their lucky number. That gave them 53. Now because it was a club, they added 1, which gave them a total of 54, and that's the number they gave me. And in my head, as soon as they give me that, I deduct their lucky number, which in this case was 3. That gives me 51. So in my head I see 51, I look at the last digit, which is a 1, which tells me it's a club, and then the value is the first part of the number, the 5. So it's the 5 of clubs. It's that simple. Try it, but remember the lucky number can be any number. It doesn't have to be 1 to 10. It's one to do anywhere, even when we're off of this lockdown. You can do this using your tablet, your smartphone, the computer, or even if you're in a pub, a restaurant, and you don't have a deck of cards, you can do a virtual deck, shuffle them and pretend to offer them cards, and then do the same procedure. Even if you repeat this a couple of times, they will never work out how you arrived at their random card that they thought of just by that number that they gave you. Practice and enjoy, keep safe, and I shall see you soon.